So, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, whether or not to design one city to permanently host the Olympic Games, I would like to provide you some arguments that will prove and that will inform you that actually designing one city to permanently host the Olympic Games is not a really good idea. First, the Olympic Games. Olympic Games is an international sport event held once in 4 years. And also, it has 200 nations that participate worldwide from all over the world. It means that this big event would cost a lot of money, would cost a lot of bucks, and would cost a lot of energies. First, let's talk about the cost. What makes it so big? Because it will provide so many transportations and also facilities for all the tourists that will come. And also it is including all the athletes. And we all know that not only the athletes that will come to this tournament, to this particular city to compete. They also will bring their assistants or maybe their family, or even if it consists a team, that it will be multiple people that will come to this event. And second, why it would cost a lot of energy? Because to point a city to host the Olympic Games, it will bring so many responsibility to the city that will take the responsibility to host this event. Let's just say if the city is Jakarta. Jakarta has so many tasks to do, and Jakarta has so many things that they need to do to cultivate to be a good country and to be a more effective country like other countries. But if Jakarta, let's just say if Jakarta is appointed or designated, it is specially assigned for Olympic Games, then I think Jakarta will not cultivate. Then I will explain this later in my arguments. Also, if one city permanently designated for hosting the event, it will endanger the economy. Why? Because the city finance it. If the city finance it, then all of the allocations of money, allocations of funds will go to the event. Or when it comes to an event, then they will make this event is so big, and they will show off. That's why it will cost a lot of money. In the meantime, the money will probably need it in some other areas. Let's just say for infrastructures for the city. Second, it also designs several public spots into the Olympic sites. Let's just say, if there are particular facilities that are actually designated for some people, and it's for its own people, and it's designated for Olympics, and then the importance of the facility for these people will be abused. Okay, welcome first. And now, welcome to my arguments. My arguments will come into 4 points. Actually, first is justification, second urgency, third effectivity for further impact. First, justification. It will comes out into 2 layers. First, to design it. To design it, it means specially assigned, to assign something specifically for specific tasks. Also, it will mean that it will assign something for a specific job. So, if one city is designated permanently to host the Olympic Games, then it means that the city will be specially designated just for Olympic Games. And it's bad. Why? Because it will not let the city to cultivate, to grow more, if it's let's just say Olympics is for sports. If it's designated only for sports, they cannot cultivate to other areas. Like say, if they want to cultivate this city, in this particular city, to an art to an art site, then it will not succeed because it is specially designed for Olympics. And second, if it if one city is appointed, then it will give less space for people in that city. Why? Because there are so many people that will come to that place, and there aren't much space that will be provided to its own people. Second, urgency. This motion is not really urgent. Why? Because people or countries still want to put their bids to host the city, so there is no need to design it, because so many countries that will put their bid to host the Olympic Games for the sake of show off. Let's just say France. France has hosted two Olympics, and they went on to lose so much money, and then once in Paris, and then they hold it again in second in Albertif. Second, if it can raise the avenue by the tax of visa, it still has so many things that events can hold. Let's just say Miss Universe. It doesn't have to be Olympics, it can be Miss Universe, or maybe it can be a movie festival. So it's not really urgent. Second, and the next point is effectivity. This effectivity will comes out into two layers. First, actually, this motion is not really effective because it actually brings more burden to particular city. Why? Because it has to provide money and infrastructure. Second, it also to design this particular city, it will hold the city to cultivate and do more for its own sake. Let's just say if a city wants to make a green and clean area, if it's designed for Olympics, then there are so many people go there, and then they will make crowd, and they will make pollutions, and this clean area goal will not be achieved from its city. Second, the second layer of the effectivity is if it's designed in one city, it will bring harm because it has potential to get entered by terrorists. We know that terrorists tend to like one city or one place that has so many crowds. And Olympics, for your information, actually, it has so many international, so many people from around the world. That's why I think this is a potential place. It is a potential chance for terrorists to get to enter this place while the Olympics. That's why it can also bring harm to the people that attend this event, and or people in the city that host this event. The last point is the further impact. The further impact will comes into three layers. First, the further impact that it actually allowing the security, the compromise security of the city. The city, like I said before, the city that hosts the Olympics, if it's designed it permanently, then it will be permanently hostile, and it will be permanently dangerous and potential for a terrorist to come into the city. Second, it doesn't guarantee the economic growth because there are so many events that can bring more revenues on visa or from taxes. But one thing that I can assure, but the wealth of its own people in the city will be fully compromised because a lot of infrastructure will be focused on the use for this event. And the third, the last, there will be so many potential events that can be left behind. If for one city, if it's just designed it specially for Olympics, let's just say if Miss Universe can be held in Jakarta, and Jakarta is designed especially in only for Olympics, then it will bring more harm. Why? Because they don't have the chance to host the Miss Universe that actually has a lot of potential to introduce this city particularly. That's why I'm proud to oppose this motion. Thank you.